Microphone activated.
Is that your new sign-in, Zyron? What's up, man? Lies! Yeah. Well, there's all kind of different sign-ins. There's the a wild blah 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 appeared, you know, the Pokemon method, and there's people like so-and-so slinks in, and so yours is just lies. Just kick open the door. Yes. Yeah, totally. What's up, man? How's your day? Good, good. Can't complain. Went in an extra day for grade review day is what they call it at my university, which is where you go to your office so that you can have a student not ever show up. Grade review day is for like people, students from the previous semester. And in the 10 years I've been at my current university, I have had a grand total of one student ever come into grade review day. And that was something he had told me about like 3 weeks in advance he was going to do. That's it. But, hey, what's up, Derp? Oh, poor Torek, I barely knew Lee. Awesome, man. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad. So the book arrived in good order. It was well preserved and all that. Okay, good. Awesome. I've got actually Coltraz just ordered a copy, and I got to send his out tomorrow. And Satobo said he wanted to buy one also, so all of a sudden I'm getting a run on it. Hey, Determinologies, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm glad you like it, man. I'll be looking forward. You know, one thing I keep forgetting to bring up to everybody who reads it is to go to the Amazon page and leave a review if they like it. I've had like 5 or 6 people in Caddis chat at least, if not more, buy a copy now, and I keep forgetting to be like, hey, if you like it, give a review on Amazon. So yeah. Definitely, if you do end up liking it, definitely drop by the Amazon page and leave a review. Would be much appreciated. Yeah, man. For some reason, there's been a big run on it lately. I like it. Hey, Pin, what's up? Oh, Zyron, by the way. Are you reading The Worded Man? Oh, no, Brent Weeks. God damn it. I keep getting them mixed up. That's Peter Brett. Right, Brent Weeks. Yes. Yeah, you gotta finish it up. It's good stuff. Are you reading The Way of Shadows, or are you reading his new series? I don't remember. Are you reading the what is it, the Lightbringer series? Or are you reading The Way of Shadows deal? Hmm. Did you hear what I asked, Sarn?
User joined your channel.
Hey, Graphite. What's up, man?
Yes, I did, but my Twitch decided to be stupid.
Oh, okay. What's up, TeamSpeak users? Oh, there you are. I was like, TeamSpeak user 16. I was like, that's obviously Zyron. Why has he changed his name to TeamSpeak user 16?
No, it did that automatically. I don't know why. But no, I read his other Shadows books. Now I'm just trying to finish up the Lightbringer one.
Okay. So what's your since I haven't read the Lightbringer books, what's your take on those vis-a-vis the Way of Shadows one? Better, worse, different? What's your take on them?
Well, at first I was a little not worried, but just kind of like, I really like his Shadow books, and I wanted him to keep doing those. But I read that and I read the Lightbringer, and I actually really like the whole color scheme.
Yeah.
The whole schematic he decided to design.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that. So.
I told you about
cool.
the interview that we did with him on the podcast I do, right? I told you about this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it.
Because
he said it was really hard for him to think of that, I think he said.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that and the fact that he felt like Brandon Sanderson beat him to the race because he had Warbreaker come out, which is a big color-based system also.
Right.
And so but yeah, that's cool. There's actually a funny video that I just found out about. Hey, what's up, Lego? What's going on, Thuck? There was... Oh, okay. That's what I thought, Graphite. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, because I did a little research after our conversation, and I was like, wait, what? Okay. So, what was I going to say? Oh, if you go on and you do a search for confusion, like the word, and then you do Dungeons and Dragons... So at this convention that my friend Brad Bollier, who's the guy that I do that podcast with, has been going to for a couple of years, they do this like celebrity author D&D session. And so the latest, or the one, I guess, last year, they have another one which they haven't put up yet, but the one from 2012, because it always takes place in January, so they just had the 2013 version a week or two ago. The one they did in 2012 was Saladin Ahmed, who's a very good writer, Mike Cole, another good writer, Brent Weeks, Peter Brett, I think. I'm not sure about that. He may not have been in this one. No, yeah, Peter was in this one. Joe Abercrombie, Elizabeth Baer, Jim Hines, Pat Rothfuss were all playing this D&D session, which was absolutely hilarious and just absolutely freaking hysterical. And Brent Weeks is, one of the people who's in it, and he plays like some kind of semi-shady assassin dude. It's very, very funny. So, yeah. Yeah, you should check it out. I just found out about it a week or two ago. So
yeah, I found you on YouTube, so I'll definitely check it out when it's done. That is.
You found what on YouTube?
The Confusion Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. It's good stuff. It's funny. It's like I think it's like I want to say it's like 25 minutes or something. It's heavily edited.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, well, but that's edited down from like God knows how many hours. So yeah, but definitely check it out. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Terry Goodkind. Hey, what's up, Pin? Yeah, so Graphite. I'm glad that that's what it was, because I did some research and I'm like, no, that is not what happens. So I hope that you told your uncle that's not the funniest prank in the world. I hope you explained that to him. That like no, like for reals and all. So like yeah. Cause,
that sucks.
Yeah, I'll tell if Graphite. I won't tell what the prank was unless Graphite wants me to. I mean, it's kind of funny in retrospect, but only in retrospect.
Retrospect. It's funny after.
It's funny after the fact, but but at the time I don't. Okay, so I was talking to Graphite about this. I was saying that I wanted him to send me a couple of some of his drawings, because I wanted to talk to him about a couple of like a project I was thinking about. And he was like, oh, sure, I'd like to do that, but, I'm going to be pretty busy. And I was like, why? He's like, well, I kind of put my career on hold because I've been drafted. I'm like, I'm sorry? He's like, yeah, I've been drafted into the United States. And I was like, there is no draft. What are you talking about? He's like, no, there's United States Japanese forces. Now there is a United States Japanese forces, but he was like, yeah, they called me and like they said that, and I was like, called you? I'm like, but there is no such, what? They don't draft. Why would they draft you in Japan? Like what the? And he's like, well, no, blah 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 blah. He's like, and I really don't know. He's like, I called my Uncle Mike, I believe that's his name, about it, and he was like, who's in the military, and he's like, yeah. He's like, well, this is the way it sometimes works or whatever. And so I have to be honest, when I got done with this conversation with Graphite, I kind of was like, okay, either, because Graphite was clearly not trolling me, so either someone was pulling something on him, or like he was making up for something else, like he had, like his right arm had been severed in a horrible accident, and so he's like, instead of telling you that, I'll just pretend that I've been drafted or something. So I was like, what the hell? And so I actually did a little bit of research and talked to a couple of my sources, and they were all like, no, that is not whatever happens. So I was actually going to talk to you about it, and so I'm glad to see that you popped on, and yes, so, right. Yeah, I love your Uncle Mike. I'll tell you what, man. If I had an Uncle Mike who did that to me, I have an Uncle Richard. He would not do this to me. I'd have been like, no.
That's funny.
So I'm glad to know you've not been drafted, and you will be continuing your burgeoning drawing career. That is good to hear. Now, what this tells us, chat, is don't ever trust Uncle Mike's. He's been drafted by you, Pin? Well, that would not surprise me, because I know that you do have the power of drafting. Well, actually, Graphite drafts all the time, if you follow what I mean. Yuck, yuck. Uh-huh.
I don't get it.
That's for derp right there. You have one issue? You have a new... Oh, that's right. Because you got a new... Dude, that's right. Because you got a new artist to replace you, and then you're like, wait, I don't need to be replaced. Well, now you can bring him up slowly. Just give him, like, the grunt work. Like, if you need, there've got to be times when you need, like, a grassy plain drawn, right? That's got to suck. It's boring as all hell. Be like, here, draw this grassy plain. Right? Can't you just do that? You know?
What do you think that the people that draw planes for Magic feel like?
I think they think it's freaking grunt work. That's what I think. They want to graduate to like a cool dude on a plane or something. You know?
It's okay. They have a white deck.
Oh man! So you're saying it's already boring? Is that the idea?
Well, I mean, just think about drawing lands. Like, there's only so much you can do with fucking plains, swamps, oceans, shit like that.
Right. Right. I think.
And it probably is grunt work.
Graphite, I think what you ought to do, by the transitive property of pranks, is you ought to try to convince your new young artist that he's been drafted. And then when you freak him out, he'll get someone to replace him, and then eventually we'll get some 2-year-old crying, being like, Mommy, what is draft? And I think this will be awesome. That's how you should do it.
Yeah, and then we'll form an armed cat of asses and take over the world. With a book writer, an artist, and an English teacher at the head.
Exactly. That sounds like a credible army.
And then the enforcers, Mano, Demiser, then Pinslate.
I always wanted my own enforcers with like suits and the sunglasses, just so I could be like, and they just step forward, and I'm like, hey, go take care of him.
Well, Demiser carries around a giant sledgehammer, of course, and then Mano, he just looks at him.
He just glares at him.
He just critiques them about everything.
Well, he just shakes his head disapprovingly, I would assume, is the way that would work.
That's how that goes.
And I tease both of them.
You just tease both of them. It's good to have you back on, Derp. So your internet is now fully stable, right? Like completely...
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Of course, I'm probably going to log off soon because I have work tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay. I understand. Well, that's cool. I'm glad I managed to get on a little bit earlier so that we could at least have you on for a little bit. Hey, Fitz, what's up, man? What was I going to say? Thox, yeah, that's what my father did. My father was in the Navy during the Korean War, and he joined basically because he didn't want to get drafted into something else, and so he ended up joining the Navy, actually underage. He joined it, I think, when he was 20, I want to say, so he lied about his age to get in. And then he ended up being on the wrong coast because he was on the West Coast, and he never got brought over into actual combat. So he served, but he never actually saw combat in the Korean War. So, hey, Net, what's up, man? Good to see you, Netwin. Good to see you. 8-hour work, 5-hour school day. Yeah, man, that definitely is something where you need to step back and relax a little bit, Fitz. That's crazy, dude. Good to see you, Ned. How you doing, man? A draft is driving behind a car. It's true. I just got a we just got a used 2009 Honda CR-V. And I'd never owned one before, but the car I'd gotten a new Chevy Equinox, and let me tell you, this is the last time I will buy an American car. I've owned 2 American cars in my life, and they both completely sucked, so that's enough with that. So I bought a Honda CR-V instead. I traded in the Equinox, and I got this Honda CR-V, and it's great. Love it. Awesome car, except the first couple of tankfuls, the mileage was like throw yourself off a cliff awful, like 16 miles a gallon, which for me, like, I'm used to driving small cars that get 33 34 miles a gallon, so this is kind of like, wait, what? Like, so I was horrified. And then today it actually warmed up a little bit out here and the mileage shot way up, so I guess the car is just particularly sensitive to mileage in really cold weather. And admittedly, we got it like in the coldest weather of the year out here, where it's been like 12, 13, 14 degrees pretty much consistently 24 hours a day. So I hope that continues, because I'll tell you, for a while there I'm like, god damn it, so sick of having bad mileage.
User joined your
I should buy a Tesla. Yeah, I should have the money
Buy a
to buy a
Mustang.
Tesla, Fitz. A Mustang. I want to get better mileage, not worse, dude. That thing uses 5 gallons per mile.
7 Boss 302.
Well, I know. It gets
That's
like
what I
5
drive.
gallons per mile. Those are
Oh,
pretty sweet looking cars, I'll admit.
What I drive, but I normally ride a bike.
It's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Well, driving, I mean, in Japan, isn't bicycling the main thing, or one of the major things, right?
Yeah, driving in Japan is futile. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
It's walking mostly, actually.
It could be worse if you're trying to drive in Beijing, where
Well,
they just had another
it's-
crisis today.
in Japan, it's more walking or groping people in the subway.
Jeez. Now, you be nice. Graphite here lives in Japan.
Oh, he'll agree.
And he's just been, drafted and undrafted, so it's been a rough 48 hours for our friend. So
That's true.
we all should. Yeah. We need a poll for that. Paul Kemp. I have heard of Paul Kemp. I think I want to say that I know I've never met him, but I think I think my friend Brad has met Paul Kemp, because I remember him talking about maybe being on a panel with him. I've never met him, but yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, I think he did one of the Star Wars Expanded Universe things.
Yeah.
I was wanting to get, like, from the Old Republic era.
Yep, that sounds right. Yeah, I can't. Oh man, that name sounds really familiar. Can Graphite speak Japanese? I don't know. I don't think Graphite. I think Graphite told me he can't very much. But
Not very much, but I can write it like no tomorrow.
oh, nice. So what's the word for prank in Japanese? Oh, snap. Oh man. Every so often, if one of you guys could in chat just refer to him as Lieutenant Graphite, that would be nice. Private Graphite, actually.
Private.
Rickshaws are the main thing in India. Well, it's definitely not. I mean, it's funny. If you look at some of the cars, like when people look at a smart car in America now, and they're like, oh my God, it's so small. Like, those are the cars in a lot of countries, including countries like India, where the biggest car you get is like a Yugo, you know? It's the order of the day there is super, super small cars. That's prank. Private Graphite, yeah.
I love how I have my keyboard set up to switch between Japanese and English.
Nice.
Makes things so easy.
Nice. Itazura. Now say it in Japanese. Well, he said he wasn't sure about that. I mean, he's going to know more Japanese than I will.
It's Itazura.
All I know is sayonara and konnichiwa. And I remember from social studies meeting a Japanese teacher, and his name was Watanabe-san, which I think is just a kind of a Mr. Watanabe, I think is all that comes out to.
Yeah. Like if you were to say my name in Japanese, it'd be Auden instead of Alan.
Auden?
Because their L's roll into R's. It's weird.
Oh, interesting. So they have no, like, Japanese equivalent exactly. It's kind of like a Japanization, as it were,
Yes,
of the English.
or
Yeah.
English
User left
Well, that's
your
like
channel.
that happens in languages where they don't have any equivalent for words that we have. I was in a store and someone was picking up. Oh no, it was we were outside of Costco. That's what it was, and someone was speaking in Russian. So they're going through. You'll appreciate this, Net. So they're going through and they're like speaking in Russian and blah blah blah. Costco because it's like clearly there is no Costco Russian translatable word that equals Costco. So they were just like blah 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 Costco.
So you're like, wait, they're talking about Costco, but I have no idea what else they're talking about.
Right, exactly. They could have been saying, let's go buy stuff from Costco, let's go blow up Costco, let's go buy Costco from the company, like let's go tell our friend, let's name our kids Costco. Like I had no idea. Yeah. It was really interesting, and it was literally all that I picked up. No, it's not that you don't have an equivalent store. It's just that there was no way to translate the name of the store, or maybe it was just easier. I don't know, but it was clear that the entire conversation was Russian, 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 Costco, Russian, Russian, Russian. So it sounds weird. What's the equivalent though, Net? Like, what's the equivalent? What is the biggest equivalent of like a big box store in Russia? Do you know what I mean by that term? Like a huge, like what is essentially a department store in Russia? Is there like a department store chain? Like, let me see. Derp. That would be China. No, I think Russia might like it to be, but yeah, you have such a word. Can you type it out? I'm curious. Oh, dear God.
I have no idea how to pronounce that.
I realized as I was saying type it out that it was coming in Cyrillic, and I'm like, ah. Yes, Cyrillic. No, wait, let me take that and throw it into Google Translate. Hey, Meat. What's going on, man?
Translate not always completely accurate.
I'm fully aware of that. It is, however, more translated. It'll be better than my complete lack of any knowledge at all on the subject.
This is going to be hilarious whenever I finish typing this.
It literally, okay. Yep. So this is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Lego. Store. Success. Great success. It's like the Universal Shop. Okay. So, Nedwin, like, what's the biggest chain? Like, in other words, what is the biggest brand name of that store? What's the biggest one of that type? Like, in America, you've got Walmart is probably the biggest. There's Macy's. There's Sears. So, like, what's the biggest version in Russia that's sort of like the biggest company that's like that? If you follow what I'm asking. Target, another one, yeah. Fuck.
There is no Japanese word for derp.
That's funny. Derp. I feel like derp is a universal language,
If there
though.
was a Japanese word for it, it'd be in katakana, since it's an English word. So
Yeah.
It's not the simplest thing to say, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
the Depero, something like that. I don't know. They don't really have D's, I don't think.
Are you...
Oh, no, they have D's, but they don't have, like...
How much?
Yeah.
How much do you speak of it, Zarin, if any? I know you're into. I know you're into a good deal of the culture, but like, especially in the anime side. But like,
I don't speak it all that much, but I can speak a little bit of it.
a little bit of it. Okay.
Like the kanji, you can just forget about. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like the katakana and the hiragana in there, I can read fine.
Okay.
It's just like it's a lot of memorization with the words.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
It's not really any easy way to like you can't just sound it out and be like, oh, that's what it means. So,
Hooked
yeah.
on phonics is not a viable option. In,
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Really nice when you see a sign that's in Romanji. Oh,
yeah. Well, Romanji, it's best to stay away from it because if you're
It's-
trying to learn it, it's not going to help
not-
you.
what is
it's
Romanji?
literally-
Romanji is
it's
just
Romanized
English, like
Japanese.
basically like this.
Oh yeah. I guess I could understand that. Yeah. Only one Chipotle. Well, but I assume, but Lego, I assume you've got tons of like local Spanish restaurants. No, like I would assume there'd be tons of local Mexican restaurants. Watashi wa name wa desuka, which I'm sure I've just butchered and basically said Japan should fall into the sea by accident when I meant to say something else. I'm sure is what I've actually done.
Oh, fuck.
That's what, well, you guys have, I'm sure you've heard this story, but one of the things that happened after the bombing of Hiroshima, which, by the way, let me just say, I do not want to get into any discussion about that at all. But the point that I want to make about it is that when the second bomb was dropped, part of the reason it was dropped was because of a mistranslation. The translator, the Japanese essentially said, we are taking what has happened under immediate advisement because, Hiroshima, right? Like, but the translator, the American translator, translated it as, we are putting this on the back burner. And so basically the Americans saw that and they're like, I guess you didn't get it. And that's when they dropped the second bomb, largely because they misunderstood
God.
the language translation. Yeah.
I did not know that. That makes me just
horrible
to
tragedy.
smack
And actually, I
somebody.
can't, now that I think of it, I don't even think it was the second one. I think it was the first one because they had basically done this. They wanted to do this little test. And then they basically told them the deal, and that was what was told. Yeah, it's an example of why language matters and getting language correct, right matters. My father was a translator, so I know something about this. But yeah. Hey, Pop.
That would suck. Being the ones dropping that.
Can you imagine being that guy, being that translator?
That guy was probably like scarred for life, knowing that he fucked that up.
Yep, I would think.
Well.
I mean, and also, frankly, the people who also made the decision should have been like, are you sure that's what they said? And, instead of being like, well, I guess that's over, which is...
Well, they wanted to do it.
I know they
anyways,
did, yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, no, I know. Unbelievable,
I'm
though.
pretty sure they wouldn't have started flying the plane in the first place if they weren't
Yep.
ready to do it.
Yep,
So.
yep. No, I agree. But that was one of those things that's one of those sort of little historical footnotes that you're always like, wow, that's amazing.
Of course, they won't put that in the history books.
What's the take on Graphite over there on the Prime Minister's little claim that he said that he hoped the elderly would hurry up and die? Did you hear about this?
Oh God, yes. That was on the news this morning.
Yeah, people were flipping out about it. I was reading some details about people being like, he said what? But I guess he's done stuff like that before. I guess he has this tendency to say things that he doesn't mean.
Like,
Who's this
a lot of-
Prime Minister of who? Of what? Of
Japan. Yep.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is it Ishirama still? Or is it somebody else now?
Yeah, it's still.
It's just Ishirama.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the guy that's been saying stupid shit for the past couple
Yeah,
years.
he always does stupid shit.
Yeah, like, everyone ignores him now. That's
Pretty
like-
much.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is there's like really nobody better either, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, like, everyone's kind of happy with what's going on, but we just ignore the Prime Minister. He says stuff, we ignore it, nothing happens.
Pretty much. They did like this whole ban on beaches where like nobody can wear tattoos.
Yeah, it was weird.
Nobody can have tattoos on a beach, you mean?
Yep.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
They made a
interesting.
ban for it, and then they like lost like all their business, and they were like, "Why did we lose all our business? Really?"
Oh no.
It's hard to
where I
grandfather
lived
that in, I
Kyoto.
guess.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah,
I think they
graphite.
lifted it.
Graphite lives in Japan. Actually, is it? I don't know if it's Tokyo though. Do you
No,
do
it's
you live in
Kyoto.
Tokyo? Oh, Kyoto. Yeah,
Yeah. You can take Tokyo and switch around the letters and make Kyoto though.
Kyoto. So in a way he lives in Kyoto. Lego, my dad. My dad actually, interestingly, my father, who had a very sort of colorful life, at one point was spoke fluent Spanish because he was a border guard. He did tons of things. He was a short order cook. He was a border guard. He was an insurance investigator. He was in the Navy. Eventually, he became a college professor. He spoke fluent Spanish. But other than that, that was the only language that he was fluent in. Everything else was he was exceptionally good in taking the poetic sense of a language and working with poets who were both, like, for example, he was the first person to translate a Bulgarian poet called Pecha Dubarova, and he brought her from Bulgaria into America. It brought her poetry from Bulgaria into America, and so he had a Bulgarian American who was actually Bulgarian Canadian, who spoke both and worked with her to sort of, she gave him the literal translation, and then he was able to sort of, massage it, as it were, into poetic language. So he actually won the American Literary Translators Association Prize for doing the same thing with a Romanian poet, which is kind of like, it's the equivalent of, like, for translators, the Pulitzer Prize. So I've always been really impressed with people who could do that sort of thing with translation. So anyway, yeah. All of a sudden, we're getting this nice little Easter egg back and forth between Graphite and Derp. It's like, no, light green eggs, light pink eggs, light green eggs. We're still a couple months away from Easter, guys. Seriously.
We'll call it sushi and seaweed.
So welcome, everybody. We're going to get started in about 3 more viewers. We'll get started with what may end up being the conclusion to the Sorcery series. You guys are fairly close, so could happen tonight.
Interesting.
Depending on how well you guys play.
And don't die.
Yeah, pro tip, don't die.
Exactly.
Like we died how many times last time?
19.
Well, that would be 19 times so far.
You guys made a lot of fucking mistakes.
Heck, Howie. I like
And I
you
wasn't even
guys.
trying to troll you
You
guys.
guys. You guys, whereas I sat in the background and was like, listen, guys.
I was. I never gave any of my opinions. No, I'm just kidding.
He just sat back there and threw stones.
I think I might have been part of like one of those deaths.
I like the image, though, of you sort of standing by the side of the fortress while the whole group of the rest of you, like, make your way through, and you're like, that's not going to work. Nope, knew that was going to happen. Yep, saw that coming.
Yep. Because I am that badass.
Hey, another update for my book. I got the backup that I had left back. I had it in my wallet, and I got mugged. Wait.
What?
Pop, isn't this like the second time you've lost that exact same backup for some other reason? Can I make a suggestion? Don't take your backup with you. Leave it at home, and like don't put it next to a stove, and don't drop it in a toilet, and don't like
Lock
don't
it in the safe.
yeah, exactly. Like for reals, man. Like,
Indeed, a backup is supposed to be in a safe.
you just got
or-
every
Oh,
time I talk to
on your
Pop, he's
desk.
like, yeah, exactly. Like every time I talk to Pop, he's like, oh yeah, I'm working on this book, and then I'm like, what happened? He's like, well, I lost my backup. You know,
I was
next
on
time
my
it's
way
gonna be
out.
like, well, Superman broke into my window and stole my shit and like flew
That'd be
away.
pretty
Like,
amazing.
You know,
I would use that.
what's up, the feed? Welcome in, welcome in.
A knife only goes so far, bro.
That's why you make it one of those butterfly knives, so you can fling
A
it.
butterfly knife
As
would probably
you
be
open
more
it, you-
likely to stab yourself.
No, you open it and you fling it at them, so it's all one swift
And
motion.
it closes before it
I
touches
was just
them.
gonna say, butterfly knives. If you do that, and then it like bonks them in the head, and then they're pissed off because it didn't actually hurt them, and then they're like, "Did you throw a butterfly knife at me?" And you're like, "No," and then they're like, "Is this the backup for your novel?" And you're like, "Yeah." You're like, "Take this and go home, and don't let me catch you again."
Or You can do what I do when I know that
User
I'm going to
joined
be
your
away from
channel.
home for long periods of time. I have these boots that my Uncle Scott gave me. He's ex-Navy.
User disconnected from
I
your
would think
channel.
you'd learn to stop listening to your uncles who were ex-military at this point. Either ex or current. I think if anything starts with the word uncle and ends with some American name and is followed by military, you should immediately disregard anything they say. So Uncle
but-
John, who's a military guy in like the
No,
army, ignore him
He's
and
my
like
Uncle Scott.
okay,
He's my Uncle Scott.
okay, yes,
Real nice guy. Like my Uncle Mike, except doesn't play jokes on me.
yeah, sure, not yet.
He gave me these combat boots that he used to have.
Oh yeah,
And when you take the heel and you click it against like
A
the back
knife
of the
comes
heel,
out,
instead of anything,
right?
like 2 switchblade knives pop out of the front, like from the sides of the boot. It's awesome.
wow. And just
knew
and
it.
troubling. You're in a subway. You're like, sorry, I apologize for slashing your Achilles. That's my fault.
Achilles tendon.
Well,
Alright.
the thing is that they're technically illegal, but still.
I can't imagine why. I mean, why wouldn't that be totally legal to walk around with boots with knives in them? I mean, like, I can't imagine.
That'd be really awkward to explain to the airport scanners.
It would have sucked for Dorothy, right? There's no place like home. Click, click, sting. Like, oh, Toto,
Right.
God.
No, those are her fighting shoes.
Those are her fighting
Yeah.
shoes.
When he wore them, they were meant for close combat and everything.
Hope he can kick.
Luckily, they've never been used for actual fighting.
That is good. That's what
That'd
I
be
like to hear.
interesting.
That's
I've used them to climb shit, though.
That's funny,
always
Dirt.
fun.
I was watching, what was it, like the best weapons or something on the like History Channel. They had like, what was it, a shovel that was kind of like a knife, or a mini shovel that was kind of like a knife.
Oh, yeah?
And they had, I think, a Russian KGB weapon, yeah, something like that, and it shot out.
that's pretty badass.
Yeah, it was cool. Of course, the problem was that the shovel overwon the Russian. I think the shovel was American.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So the Russians were all angry about it. No offense, Nedwin. But, yep.
I only wrote one ending. Well, I only wrote one ending that you know about, Dirt.
Exactly. Wink.
Right. My original ending was, romantic comedy style, like where Jennifer Aniston shows up for no reason, and no, that's not that.
She is hot. I'll give her that.
Yeah, but just not worth all the other nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 viewers to go, and in a minute I will give you folks your trivia question. I hope you have your trivia brains nice and sharpened so you can actually try to get your stamina bonus, because you could use it. So we'll see if you guys can actually get this time.
You know we're not going to get that.
I know. I've been so horribly disappointed. I was talking to somebody about it today. I'm like, I can't believe it, man. Like, I understand if I
You should
walk.
talk to your class about it.
Well, that's the thing. If I walk into a department meeting and I start telling them about this, they would look at me like I have two heads. If I walked and talked even to my writing friends, they probably wouldn't get it. But like, this is the target audience. Like, when I ask you guys about soundtracks for video games, you should be all over this nonsense.
I don't know very many soundtracks for video games.
You have been close, Meat. That's true. That's right. Keep that in mind. I'm Russian, but I live not in the Russian Federation. Hey, Mojo. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a couple days.
I'm too busy playing Ni no Kuni. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Everybody is on top. Is all about that game right now.
It's really fun.
So, is it the spiritual successor to Final Fantasy or not?
No.
Is it the spiritual
It's
successor
different.
to Pokemon?
No.
Okay.
But it is different, and it's fun, so.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
But it's really more like a kid game, but it's still pretty fun.
Oh well, I would assume so based on the way that the graphics looked.
Well, that's not true. Think of Borderlands.
Well, no, but that's cell shading, though. I mean, that's. I mean, I understand it's cartoony, but this is like, it's like cartoony. What's like it looks
Wind Waker
Pokemon-y,
wasn't that
vaguely
kiddish, though.
cartoony. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Wind Waker is kind of
That's
dark.
true. That's true. Yeah, I guess that's true.
But But it is a kiddish game, though.
It's not like like Coraline, for example, getting out of
Yeah,
the
it was
games for a
kinda
minute
creepy.
is dark, even though good Mojo. Everything's hanging in all right.
Yeah, Nino Kuni is its own thing. That's the best way to put it.
Sounds good, Ned. Hey, Nedo, and you realize that you guys might finish this tonight. Hopefully not. But if you're, come in when you can, man, because I don't know. It's possible you guys might finish this series tonight, depending on how well you guys do. So, hopefully so. Yeah, I know.
You finished Dishonored.
Yes, I did. I finished Dishonored. I'm debating whether or not once I finish, whether I'm going to go into... I want to continue Jade Empire, but I also, for some reason, am now really jonesing to get back into Mass Effect, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that first. But
You didn't finish Jade Empire yet?
No, I'm about halfway through, I think.
Okay.
I'm just about to, I'm going to the Imperial City now. Like, I pretty much wrapped up the forest, the haunted forest, and I already did the Pirate Cove, and I already did the city, that village with the dam and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I only got, like, I think to the dam, and then I stopped. I should try to re-get that game.
Yeah, it's a cool game, and when I got it, it was like $5 or something like that. So
right, I just wish they came with like some kind of subtitled language.
Yeah. They had what was I gonna say? You guys heard that the Epic Mickey guys, Spectre is leaving. Whatchamacallit is leaving the Disney. Whoever did Epic Disney, I can't remember. I think it was, I forget what the name of the studio was, but they closed it down, and so, which apparently it sold really well too. It sold like 500,000 copies, the Epic Mickey 2, but I guess creative differences or whatever.
Yep.
So
it's just because it's Disney.
That's right, those punks.
They hate Jews.
Oh,
Well,
that reminds
Disney.
me.
Disney did.
Have you guys seen the photo taken at Disney World literally 2 days after they bought Star Wars?
No, that was the photo.
I don't
There
want
was a
to.
gift shop and it was literally full of Star Wars stuff. 2 days after they bought Star Wars.
Oh, that's Disney, man. I just took my daughter to see. We just saw Disney on Ice at the Barclays Center, which is the new arena in Brooklyn, actually, which is nice. It's a nice arena, but they're slick. They know how to get kids involved. I couldn't believe when I was watching. I'm like, oh my god, that's true. All of these movies are all part of the panoply of they're just throwing them out. They're like Lion King, Aladdin, Tangled, Princess and the Frog, Mulan.
Yep.
Like they're just like they're going out of style. No Wally though. I wanted to see Wally on Ice. That would have been worth it.
Wally.
Lion King.
They'll probably save him.
I saw.
Hey, what's up, David? Good to see you. Yeah, Disney had an anti-Semitic streak, unfortunately.
I think they still do, but
It was.
that's opinion.
Toy Story.
It's opinionated,
Nice.
so.
It's hard to say because a lot of the stuff they've done, is legitimately really good. I mean, frankly, the stuff that Pixar does is legitimately
Yeah, but that's
good.
Pixar, though.
Well, but I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
I
But
mean, look at
they're
Toy
connected
Story,
now,
it's
right?
beautiful.
So
I think they still I think they're connected, but they're still kind of.
separate. I think
Yeah.
I think the Princess and the Frog is. I mean, for a princess movie, I think The Princess and the Frog is actually really good. First of all, I think the music is interesting. I don't think they did the typical thing, which is to take a tale of some other culture and then make it as Americanized as you possibly can. I don't think they did that with Princess and the Frog for the most part. Like, it's in New Orleans. They kept it in New Orleans. They made it's heavily Cajun culture all the way down the line. So they do. There are some good things that they can do. But yeah, I mean, there's some other serious problems also. Like, No Doubt did a song about this called Tragic Kingdom, about sort of like some of the weird conspiracy stuff that Disney was into. So yeah. And yeah, Toy Story, look man, Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 are all very, very solid films of their own right.
3 almost
so.
made me cry.
Yeah.
Yes, 3. I actually cried.
And I haven't seen
Saw
Up,
that
which everyone tells me is
in
amazing.
theaters.
I haven't seen it, but I heard it's really good.
Saw that in theaters and I cried.
Yeah.
I think Disney buying the Avengers is a conspiracy to get all the superheroes on their side.
Hey, you know what
All the good
though?
ones.
Listen, if Disney buys it, gives them money, and keeps their hands off, and we end up with a movie as good as the Avengers, I'll take it. Like, that's fine. Like, Disney can just throw a bunch of money at them and say, "Here, Joss Whedon, go do your magic or whatever."
I
That's what
still
they do.
haven't finished
Throw
that
money
movie.
at them and say, "Go do your magic."
I pretty much, because that's the thing, is that Whedon was like, "Listen, I'll do it, but don't tell me what to do." And they were like, "All right," and they did it. Honestly, if you look at a lot of the recent Disney stuff, because Disney also was basically coordinated Marvel doing Thor, right? Thor was also, that's Kenneth Branagh who directed that. Kenneth Branagh is a legit Shakespearean actor and director. Like, he's not going to be told what to do by the equivalent of Mickey Mouse. So I mean, so as long I don't have a problem with that. The problem is when you get somebody like EA that can't keep their hands off a company and they end up ruining them. But if you get someone who buys a company and then leaves them alone and just says, just go do your thing, which is hard to do, but if they can do that, then it can often work out to their benefit,
Yes. Derp has the best idea ever. Disney buys EA.
That would
Everything's
solve
solved.
everything.
Oh, that's true. Like the end of everything, everywhere.
That'd be really hard, though.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
Madden
all
is
bad
like,
games.
all of a sudden you have like Mickey Madden
That'd be actually
2013.
kinda
Oh
fun.
god, no.
I would play that.
That would be pretty badass. Can you imagine?
Pop Shop tried to say he's never seen a Disney movie. I'm
That's
like,
not
no.
true. You've
You've
seen
seen
Peter
it.
Pan. That's Disney movie.
Yep.
You
Yeah, and
cannot
you've seen
see
Star
a Disney
Wars.
movie in this world.
Yeah,
Unless
it's
you were born in a third world country.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you just don't watch anything.
If you don't watch movies at all, but that's
Right.
It's
Hippie
hard.
mother.
That's it.
Hippie mother.
Disney buying, yeah. That would be interesting, but that'd be really hard to do.
The Earth is your movie.
I'm trying to think of what other mega company could buy. All right, so like Disney buys EA, and then Google goes out and like buys Disney, and then
There's no
Amazon
way in hell.
Amazon eats Microsoft, and then Amazon micro attacks Google's
makes
the Bio EA Activision Blizzard thing.
And then South Korea takes over North Korea.
Yeah.
And everybody's nuked. The end.
Yeah, and then everyone loses. The end.
China buys the world because they can. Well,
That is
Hey,
so true.
China's got to keep itself from polluting itself to death first before they buy the world.
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
They
Not to
technically-
mention all the exploding things.
Rats.
Yes.
Just anything, really.
Rats. Exploding rats.
Just
That too.
Fireworks eaten by the rats and they just explode.
exploding rats.
Well, they had like a girl fall through their cement because it broke.
What?
Well, I
I've
was.
never seen that video.
Yeah, it's true. I have a friend who has a company that does a game that that has card games and board games and stuff, and they do stuff in China, and he's been to China, and so it's almost got to this point where there's this regionalization where there's different parts of China that are de facto under control of different companies with vastly different quality standards. So if you get something that's made in China, it's not so much made in China, it's made in whatever the region that was owned by a given factory or company, in China, which is really weird. And,
That is really weird.
yeah, but that's
'Cause, like,
that's the way it works.
like just own those regions because they're so powerful.
Yeah, and basically they're the ones who call the shots, and like the more supervision they directly provide, the easier it is for them. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's really insightful.
Facebook
Dude,
buys
finally
Zynga.
got some of that, bro.
Night, Derp. Sleep well, man. All right, well let's get underway here. Zynga's marketing director's a Twitch TV account. Well, that'll give them something to do when they go out of business. God, how the mighty have fallen there. All right, so. All right, guys, let's get underway. So welcome everybody. Let me say hi to the peoples. Neto and Zyron, what's up, David? What's up, Derp? And good night, Derp. The terminologies fits. Guilt, what's up, man? What's up, Graphite? Lego Maps, what's going on, man? Meat, Pop, Thawk, the Feed, and the Mojo. What's going on, everybody? So, you guys had a real good game session last night. You did run into this problem, which is your health is low, but other than that, couldn't have been much better. Your skill is 7, but because you managed to find the machine that sharpens weapons, you now have a sword and a blessed hardwood spear, which is sharpened to do more damage. So your functional skill, your attack skill, is 8, not 7. You have 11 luck out of 13, which is very solid. You have only 5 gold, but the reason for that I'll explain in a minute, and then you have 2 provisions. The reason you only have 5 gold is because you bought a metric you-know-what ton of every spell component in the history of mankind. So you pretty much bought everything. You got candles, you got a nest with a golden egg. You literally bought some silver coins and a rusty cutlass, both of which were worthless, and the silver coins burned a hole through your pack, and you lost out of your pack one item that happened to be the rusty cutlass. So you had so much money, you were just like, here, let me just like throw money at you for no reason at all. So you have a bunch of spell components. And you also managed to get through the third set of Throban doors. There's 4 sets, remember, within the fortress. And you're literally standing you've just gotten past the captain's room, and you're basically, you're closing in on what you think is your prey, the Archmage himself. So you guys did a good job last night. You did die a couple more times, so there was all that. Yeah, so there was definitely some things that went down last night, and for the most part, you guys did very well. Now, a couple things that I want to mention just quickly off the top of my head before I forget. Number one, remind me before we get started, I want to make sure that we confirm which weapon you guys are using, because you need to have one weapon that you basically sheath or put away, and one weapon that you have that's active, so that not one, that's what you're going to use in combat, but also if something happens to that weapon, I will know which weapon you have out and which weapon you'll be able to use as your backup. And then secondly, you're going to need to come up with a dice roller for the evening. Lego did it yesterday. You guys didn't actually fight anyone yesterday, but you did have to test luck a couple of times. It helped that your luck was 13, so that was good there. And the last bit of information is my usual reminder. Remember that you still have these clues. You have fewer of them because you've gotten through a bunch of stuff already, but you still have these clues up here that you need to keep in mind about this glass vial, about the sleepless ram, the silver whistle, and so on. So I'm not going to remind anyone about these again. I always just remind you once at the beginning of a session. So keep in mind it'll be your job to sort of monitor this and then let me know if one of these things is going to apply. All right. So before we go on... Oh, sure, David. What's up? Sorry.
I haven't the slightest fuck what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, the best suggestion I can give you is to ask within chat, and they will catch you up on what's been going on. Although, have you not played with us at all, David? I thought you played with us once or twice, no?
I wanted to the other day, but you left so early I didn't get to ask what were you talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, you will get a chance. This is basically like a choose-your-own-adventure combined with Dungeons & Dragons, essentially. So the guys in chat can fill you in, but the sort of basics are that you are a hero from the country of Analand, and you were given this item, this thing called the Crown of Kings, which basically gives you the power to restore order in the kingdom in which it's used. And you guys had this big council, and the crown was passed from country to country until it got to Analand. And the Archmage of Mampang, which is this really badass, like, and evil guy, stole the crown, and Analand has basically fallen into chaos. And if this country, if Mampang is able to unite, it could be an enormous threat, because there's lots of bad people there, it's just that they're always fighting each other. So with the power of the crown, he might be able to unite them. So you were sent on a possibly foolhardy solo journey to retrieve the crown. You've gotten through 3 out of the 4 books so far, and now you're about 75%, maybe a little more, through the 4th and final book. So, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm just answering. I'm giving the basics. Like, a lot more than that happened, but I'm not going to go through that detail. So
everyone in chat is controlling one character?
That is correct, and we use this poll right up here, this little thing. I will set up different polls, which you can then vote on. Everybody gets a vote, and yeah, that's basically the way it goes. And you can... And
I gotta say one more thing.
Sure.
I absolutely love and adore what you're doing right now.
Oh, cool.
And what you've been doing for the past, I don't know, week or 2.
More than that. It's actually been probably about a month, I'd say. But good, I'm glad.
The next adventure, I would love to be more predominant in the storyline if I could get into it
Sure.
with you.
Absolutely, man. I am happy to do that.
Okay.
So,
I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff. Go
it's
ahead and take the lead.
it's fun. It's fun stuff. Hey, rookie, what's up, man? Okay, that's fine, man. No, don't worry about it. So what was I going to ask? Oh, yeah. So now, before we select our dice roller, you guys need to figure out the trivia question for the night. So as you know, we start every session with me playing a soundtrack from a game, and you guys have to try to determine what this soundtrack is that I am playing. And if you get it right, your bonus tonight is going to be 4, count them, 4 big stamina points. So if you get this right, you will add 4 stamina points. Now, I've been horribly disappointed by all of you so far. You have failed utterly at these questions. And I want you to put your thinking caps on and get this one right, all right, peoples? So I will give you guys 20 seconds to tell me, what is this the soundtrack to? Starting now. It is not Bayonetta.
Oh, I can't hear it because I have it muted.
Can't help you with that.
Still can't hear it.
User disconnected from your channel.
Why no sound, computer?
Oh, very hard to hear? All right, hold on. Hold on. I'll turn it up. Unless that was a clever way for you to get more time. Let me pull this up more. Okay, better?
Anyone can you hear this? Like,
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now it's just fading out because it's fading out, but all right. Next track is coming up, giving you 20 seconds starting now.
might help if I can play.
10 seconds left to go. So far, you guys are batting 0. But this is from a well-known game, I'll say that.
I'll be right back. I'll say what I have to say after.
It is not Banjo-Tooie or Banjo-Kazooie. Nor is it Phantasy Star 4. Although Phantasy Star 1 was a very good game, but... Five, four,
Is it
3, 2, 1. The answer is no, not a terrible guess feed, but no.
Kingdom Hearts?
Not a bad guess either, but no, it is the soundtrack to Legend of Mana. Famous game, guys. It's not like not like I'm choosing like absolutely nothing.
How old is that game?
I mean, it's older, but so what? It's like saying Final Fantasy VII is like 15 years old. People know that game.
I'm gonna. This is right now. I sound really nasally because this mic sucks, and I know it. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna see if I can switch over to the other computer.
That's fine. That's
so I
fine. No
sound
problem.
like
We'll see you in a
a
couple minutes when
total
you get back.
User joined your
Ass
channel.
hat on your stream. That's wonderful. And it shouldn't have anyone sounding nasally on it.
All right, that's fine.
Get back.
Let's
User
see.
disconnected from your channel.
If you played Arkham City soundtrack, I would have known it. Yeah, I know. So far, I've chosen, let's see, Legend of Mana. I've done Suikoden. I've done Final Fantasy Tactics. I've done Final Fantasy VII. I did Chrono Cross. And I think I did Chrono Trigger also. So I've done this as well. What do you mean my grandparents? Dude, Legend of Mana is not that old a game, okay? And it's a famous game, too. That's like being like, what is this? I mean, let me tell you, Batman, originally from the 30s. I'm here to tell you. So, just keep that in mind. Alright, so no 4 stamina for you, unfortunately. You guys will have to do without... Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay. I think you did, but I don't think I was giving away points at that time, or at least I don't think I was. Generally mixed reviews. Yeah, the cool thing about Legend of Mana was that you could play multiplayer. So you could actually play a bunch of people at once. I think it was up to 4 at one time. which at the time was kind of a big deal on the game. So it's good stuff. Okay, so... Alright, so you guys know all the details about what I just said. You guys just passed the captain's room, and you'll remember that you cast a spell which basically inclined him to think favorably of you, and he gave you a key which he said would open the final Throbin door. That's what this is. I'm just letting you know. Again, I'm not going to remind everyone. That was something which just happened to you before we started. So your save point is right after you got out of that room. And we are going to... Oh, 3-player. That's right. I thought it was 4, but I think you're right. Yeah, 3-player. So, all right. We are going to get underway. Is everyone ready? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're quite right. You're right. I totally forgot about that. Yes, my bad. So we do need to get a dice roller in. So... I assume that people will, someone will wish to nominate again Lego, but again, we can always have another person do it as well. Waffles has done it in the past. Lego was the dice roller, has done most of the dice rolling over time, I'd say. But other people can nominate people if you want, or you can just vote Lego in. So who else wants to nominate anybody else for dice, if at all? Rookie. That's funny. Yes, yesterday was not a time for rolling. There will be more rolling tonight, I predict. Seven is greater than 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, so are people generally in favor of having Lego resume duty as the dice roller or not? Thok has predictably voted for himself. Yes, he is. Thok is throwing in his hat as well. So we'll have this vote between Lego and Thok. So far we've got Lego as 1, Thok is 2. Lego's voted for himself as rookie. Thok is quite obviously voting for himself. So Lego or Thok, those are your two options.
User joined your channel.
Guild votes for Lego. All right. It's going once. Going twice.
David wants a dice roll. Wait, hold the votes.
Do you seriously or no?
Yes.
All right. I'll throw in a vote for David. So I've got 3 votes for Lego. I've got 2 votes for Meat. And I've got 1 vote for David. Still going once. You vote DD. Well, that's great. Now we've got a 2-2 tie. Now we've got a plurality. Yeah, exactly. Roll off. Yeah, the only problem with that is that somehow I have a feeling that people are going to be able to do it. Up. Feed throws in his late support, throwing the entire election into an entire chaos. All right. Well, once. Twice.
Come on, vote for David.
Nope. Looks like it's going to be Lego. Lego wins. Lego wins in a plurality. He managed to get the anti-Thok and David faction to split their vote. So that was good quality.
I'm glad someone who knows what they're doing actually won.
Lego returns to prominence. All right, congratulations, Lego. So Lego's got the dice going on. Sorry, Thok. You can blame. It was all David's fault. I'll just put it on him for no reason. Okay. So Lego is going to be our dice roller for the night. Okay, now is everyone ready to play? Now that we have our dice roller in place.
Yes.
All right. Yes, other people, sound off if you're ready to go. Yeah. Thok is still voting. Let's do it. All right. Now, I will tell you that I have gone through in preparation for this event. I double-checked, and I have confirmed that you will, in fact, you will be able to successfully win the game if you play smart. You're going to have to play carefully. It's going to be not so easy, especially since you guys know nothing about video game soundtracks at all. No, I'm just kidding. Because of the stamina situation here, but you can definitely do it. So,
No.
all right. So here we go.
Vane, real quick.
Yeah.
You've killed them 19 times.
It's not me, man. I'm just a messenger. I have
killed them. No, Vane, you're the dungeon master or whatever it is for this game. You killed them 19 times.
They've killed themselves.
What's that, like once?
Ask them
every day?
Ask them about the magnetic pole and why it is that they so wanted to get an axe. Just ask them about the magnet and the axe incident.
Why
just
did you guys
just ask them about the axe and the magnet incident, and they'll tell you all about what happened.
Poles, strippers, maybe.
Yeah, meat.
What's Vane talking
about? It was worth it. Yeah, totally worth it. Twice.
Did you guys get like twice? What are you talking about? David is very confused, and he does not like this.
Death by flies. Oh God, that was not good too. Right, that was another one. The searching the latrine theory. Okay, all right. While you're figuring this out in chat, I'm gonna get moving here. All right, here we go. The door opens, and you step into a large open chamber with dark alcoves around the walls. Torches set into the wall light the room with a flickering glow. The floor is marbled, as are the walls. Across the room you can see two large double doors. Although there is no one about, there is something in the center of the room. Standing on a pedestal a few feet above the floor is a large marble sculpture. It faces towards you, but in the dim light you can only just make out its shape. It is about the size of a large shaggy dog, or perhaps a sheep, but apart from this sculpture the room is empty. Will you walk across the room towards the double doors, treading carefully, or will you cast a spell? Let me see if I can track down a picture of this thing that you see. Hold on one second here. I'm going to blank you out for just a moment and see if I can find a picture of this thing.
Right after the picture, what kind of spells do we have? Chat, do you want to tell me, or does Vane want to... If it's very simple.
Go ahead and explain, chat, while I'm looking. Like not all of them, but just tell them the basics about how spells work.
Give me the cool spells. The ones that'll give you the chicks. Oh, can I have a list, Rookie? That'd be wonderful. I don't care what the cost. I just want another list. Yeah, just show me what I said. That's all I want to know. Rookie, do you not have the list? Shut up. The feed. Levitate. Wow. Language barrier?
I can't find it. Okay, it doesn't matter. But basically, what I've just described for you. Yeah, basically what it is you have a whole series of spells, and you're normally given a series of options, and I basically explain what each spell does. Now, over time, people have sort of figured out what spells do, but I'll just give you the basics of what you know about it. And also, you need the right component to cast it, but you have a lot of spell components as well. It does cost stamina. The biggest problem for you guys is the fact that your stamina is so low that there are spells that you won't be able to cast because it'll kill you. So that's the major issue right now.
You don't have stamina?
Say again, what?
You don't just get You don't just fall asleep or anything?
No, stamina would be hit points. If you go to 0, you're dead.
Oh. Why?
And
Are we like blood mages? I don't understand.
that has happened before, by the way. That you have dropped to 0 stamina and died.
Not me.
And so that's the deal with that. So yes, so you have this sculpture in the room. So it looks kind of like a sheep. It has these curling horns on the top of its face, and sort of a curly kind of sort of like, I guess you'd say, a kind of coarse hair, obviously in marble, but that's what you think it's sort of sculpted to do. And apart from this sculpture, the room is empty. And no, you can't eat your provisions unless you're given the option to do it, Rookie, sadly. You have eaten provisions today once already, but unfortunately you don't have any other place to eat provisions as of yet. Sort of like the Tar Heel mascot. Maybe a little bit. It looks more standard. I mean, it looks kind of like a big sheep with horns, really. But apart from the sculpture, the room is empty. Will you walk across the room towards the double doors, treading carefully, or will you cast a spell? Now, let me give you the options about what spells you have and whether or not you can afford to cast them. Let's see. Okay, you don't have that. Let's see. And part of the reason it takes me a little while is that these spells are not alphabetized in the book, which is annoying. But that's the way it works. Okay, you could cast the spell Fall, which is a spell that would protect you in case there are any pits in the room. It would protect you from damage from falling from a great height. However, it would cost 2 stamina points to do that. So I'm just letting you know that it would cost stamina points, but you'd be protected in that regard. You could cast Sap, which is a demoralizing spell. If there's any living creatures in the area, they will be demoralized and easier to fight. That is, again, 2 stamina points that would be cost. You could cast, I believe, let's see, Mud. And what Mud is, as you might expect, is it creates a kind of a quicksand in front of you. And so there's a quicksand kind of thing which you could cast. And that actually would not, let me see how much that would cast. I think that would cost, let's see, how much would that cost? That would cost 1 stamina point to cast that. And then the last one that you would be able to cast is the spell. Let's see, do you have that stuff? No, you don't have that other spell component. So, you could, so here are your options. You can either walk across the room towards the double doors, treading carefully, or you can cast Fall, that'll protect you against falling from great heights, that'll cost 2 stamina. Sap, which is you cast the spell and it will demoralize any living creatures in the area. So that's also 2 stamina. Or last, you could cast Mud, which would cost you 1 stamina point and would allow you to create basically this thing of quicksand in front of you. So yeah, 1 is Walk, 2 is Fall, 3 is Sap, and 4 is Mud. Thanks, Rookie.
Do we get a 5th option that I might be able to suggest?
No, sadly, those are the only options we have. That's the one problem with the adventure books.
Why?
Is they're more limited.
Why?
So, because they're more limited.
So they're limited.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're more limited
You can't
choices.
just be like, well, I want to examine this surrounding area.
No, that's D&D, which I love, but that's not this. It's a little more limited. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the deal. So what is your choice, guys? Go ahead and make your vote, please. Hey, Nerdy, what's up? Hello to Slayer Skater. All right, so I have 1 vote for 1. I have 1 vote for Walking In. I have 1 vote for Sap. And keep in mind, don't forget, guys, stamina is in critical condition, so that stuff is gold, as it were. Actually, you wish it were gold, because then you'd have 5 instead of 4. Hey, Maps, you're trying to decide. You're looking at this statue of this. Yes, actually, it does look a little bit like that. Yes. So if you guys want to see a little bit of what the picture is, it looks a little bit like that. The picture that that David posted in chat. So it looks a little bit like that. So you're facing down that statue, and your choices are: do you want to just walk across the room? Do you want to cast the spell Fall to protect you from falls? Sap, which will demoralize living enemies in the area, and then Mud, which basically creates this thing of quicksand. So
Before we all decide, could you go over the situation one last time really quick?
super.
Like the basics, like the details.
Yeah, so you're standing in a room, and you're facing this statue, which is just you know, it's a statue. It's staring there of this sort of sheep-like creature. And there's a set of double doors across the way, which you think you have a key for, because you think this is what the captain in the last room told you about. So that's the situation, and the question is, how do you want to traverse this room? So, given all that... Alright, so I've got 3 votes for walk across. I've got, hey, G, what's up, man? I've got 1 vote for fall, and I've got 1 vote for sap. Yeah, and the other thing is, David, so you know, change vote to 3. Okay. So,
it was 1,
so
I'm
you,
changing to 3.
yeah, I got it. Yep. Just so you know, you're always welcome to, although I'd prefer that you not in TeamSpeak. Don't do this a lot, because otherwise it can overwhelm the chat. But
Yeah,
if you want to type in chat an explanation as to why you're voting a certain way, that's fine. Just don't do it in TeamSpeak, because then it's hard, you know, for everybody else. So, okay. No, we started like 5 minutes ago, G, so you're in good shape. Okay, so I have 2 votes to walk across the room. I have 1 vote for fall, and I have 2 votes for sap. That is the current vote situation. Slayer picked 2. I didn't. Alright, but you're going to get blamed, nerdy, if that's the wrong choice. Just keep that in mind. Alright, I need someone to break this tie, folks. Two. Charming. 2-2-2. Alright. That, however, makes it a super tie. Now it's an uber tie. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Remember, any spell that you cast is going to use your health, and you have very little of it, obviously. So there is that issue. The options are, so, G, you're staring at this statue of this sheep-like creature that's in this room, and so your options are, do you want to walk across the room carefully to the double doors on the other end? Do you want to cast Fall, which would protect you from falling damage if any unexpected pits open up or something? Do you want to cast Sap, which would demoralize any living creatures in the area and make them more difficult to fight? Or do you want to cast Mud, which would cause you to create this pool of quicksand in front of you?
Vane, you said more difficult.
Oh, sorry, less difficult for you to fight. And kill yourself is not an option, Fitz. It may happen, but... Okay, so, Maps. You didn't vote for 4, did you, Maps? No, you did not. Okay, good. Alright. So, change back to 1. Okay. Alright. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be walk. Going once. Going twice. And G also added into it along with Maps. Alright. So it's going to be this one. If it ends badly, I change my vote, yeah. Alright. Oh, and before we talk about this, by the way, just because I forgot, I mentioned it before and then I forgot to ask. Just a quick poll. Which weapon do you want to be your active weapon? Now, both of these items, this Blessed Hardwood Spear is something that you happen to find earlier in the adventure, and it's like a really badass weapon in certain circumstances. However, if you happen to lose your weapon, like your active weapon, like if it breaks or if someone takes it away, then obviously, you know, you would lose this active weapon. So I want you to just keep in mind which thing you want as the weapon that you're using right now. Are you going to have your sword as your standard weapon that you're using, or your hardwood spear? Right now, they've both got the same attack strength, so it doesn't really matter in terms of skill and everything else. But I just wanted to know, whatever one you don't use, you'll sheath as basically a backup weapon. So just give me a quick answer to that. Sword is 1, spear is 2. Which one do you want to make your active weapon? Sword or spear? Spear, sword, spear, sword, sword, spear, and sword. Alright, I got 4 for sword, 3 for spear. Going once. 5 for sword. 6 for sword. Alright, looks like it's going to be sword then. Alright, so sword it is. That's the active weapon. Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you start crossing the room. After 5 steps into the room, you freeze. This may be a trick of the light, but you could swear that the shape in the center of the room is moving. A creak confirms your suspicions. The sculpture is coming to life. It turns on its pedestal to face you as you move forwards. You take 2 more steps. Its legs move, and it steps down from its plinth. There is something unnatural about its movements. They are abnormally quick. Stepping down onto the floor took the statue less than a second, but its bulk is considerable. Then, without warning, it charges. Lowering its head, it races straight for you at tremendous speed. Its legs barely seem to move. Test your luck. All right, Lego. So the way that testing luck works for people who are new, Lego's going to roll 2 6-sided dice, and that gets compared to this number. If it's equal to or less than 11 on 2 6-sided dice, then you're lucky. If it's above that, then you're unlucky. If you are lucky, then this number goes down by 1, and every time you're lucky, it drops. So the more you test your luck, the less likely it is that you'll be lucky the next time. So, that said, go ahead, Lego. Yeah, and Lego, it was marble. It was a marble statue. It's a marble statue that's alive now. Good roll. All right. So you are, in fact, lucky. Okay. You fling yourself out of the way just in the nick of time. The creature thunders past you and into the marble wall behind with a blow hard enough to kill an armored troll. But this tremendous impact has not even disturbed it, and it turns again to face you. Do you have anything you may be able to use against the creature? Or do you want to run for the double doors? Do you guys want to check and see what you may have to use against this creature? I'm going to guess that that's a yes, but... Yeah, you're going to check? All right. All right, here we go. Here are your options. You could try, it says a yellow fruit skin, but you don't have one of those. A parchment scroll, you don't have one of those either. An enchanted compass, you don't have one of those. But you do have a glass vial of liquid. So you could try to use a glass vial of liquid if you wish. Do you want to try to use that? Throw it at its face. This is good music for this. Oh my god, it's a big charger statue. Okay. Alright. So, how did you come by this vial? Now, this is going to be for people who've played for a little bit. Were you given this vial of liquid by a woman, by a man, or did you find it on your own? So, if you can remember, make sure you vote in chat. If you don't know at all, don't just guess. This has to be something you remember. Do you remember whether you were given it by a woman, by a man, or did you find this vial of liquid on your own? 1 is woman, 2 is man, 3 is you found it on your own. Ah, the reference note, Rookie says. Of what reference note do you speak? Ah. Since Rookie brought it up, my rule is if he brings it up, I can highlight it. This is what he's talking about right here.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yeah, one sec. Lego, I don't know what you mean by the 100K. What does that mean? You're at a save. You were at a save point right before this room, so sure. Go ahead, David. What's up?
I don't understand why where they got it from matters. Is there like, do they get like a skill bonus or something if they get it right?
It has to do with where, basically, what vial they're throwing and why. Because you have a couple of different things. Like you have a, you know, like vials of holy water and things like that. So.
I gotcha.
So yeah.
No, I completely understand now.
Yep. Yep. Oh, okay. It was just a joke. All right. I was like, wait, what? Is there 100K? What? Yeah. If you can't phone a friend. All right. What do you guys think? Do you remember? Did it come by? Did it come by the, did you get it from a woman? Did you get it from a man? or did you find it on your own? If we die, we can say it was a woman. Okay, so I have man, man. Okay, you thought it was the beggar. Okay, I cannot say one way or the other. Man. Anyone else? See, this is why consistent attendance helps you. All right, so it looks like you're going to go with the man. You quickly hurl the vial at the speeding creature before it can reach you. And the vial that you're going to be hurling at him is one of these vials of holy water, because that was actually given to you by one of the by Coletus, the holy man. The glass shatters, spraying liquid all over the statue. But to your total dismay, it has no effect at all. Now the statue is almost upon you. You try your best to avoid the creature's blow, but it is no use. Its head slams into your side and hurls you against the wall. Your skull cracks against the marble and you slump lifelessly to the floor. So near your goal, you have been stopped by perhaps the Archmage's most dangerous servant, the Sleepless Ram. Ah, the even 20. You finished the grave in time. Yep. So apparently it was not a man who gave this to you. Apparently it was not. But the good news is, you know for sure that it's the Sleepless Ram, so you know that now. Fortunately, you were at a save point. Oh, there's no, like, limit to the lives. That's basically just a way to keep track of things. The funny thing is that you guys died, I think, a total of, like, I want to say maybe 5 times, 4 or 5 times in 3 books, and you've died like 15 times in this book. And the reason is because this thing is like, it's a badass game book. It's really hard. So I'm not, you know, I'm giving you guys, I'm not blaming you at all, but yeah, exactly. This is one of those things. All right. So, you guys pick yourselves up, you dust yourselves off as well. From the 3 site masters. Well, you'll have to decide if what it is that actually what it is that happened. But you now know that it's the Sleepless Ram, and you only have one reference here that refers to the Sleepless Ram. So, yeah, exactly. You sans a time it all the way back. All right, the door opens, and you step into a large open chamber with dark alcoves around the walls. Torches set into the wall light the room with a flickering glow. The floor is marble, as are the walls. Across the room, you can see 2 large double doors. Although there is no one about, there is something in the center of the room. Standing on a pedestal a few feet above the floor is a large marble sculpture. It faces towards you, but in the dim light you can only just make out its shape. It is about the size of a large shaggy dog or perhaps a sheep. But apart from this sculpture, the room is empty. Will you walk across the room towards the double doors, treading carefully, or will you cast a spell? So you guys know the deal with this. The spell options are the same as they were before. You can walk across the room, which is what started this whole business. And remember, it wasn't the start walking across the room that killed you. It was the fact that you threw the vial that wasn't the right vial at it, presumably. So you could walk across the room. You could cast Fall, which will protect you from falling damage. You could cast Sap, which would demoralize any living enemy. Or Mud, which would create this thing of quicksand. Okay? So, and remember, you do have that stamina consideration still to keep in mind. Alright, we've got 1. We've got a vote for 4. Got a vote for 3. 1. 4. Getting crushed by a marble ram is kind of like falling damage. Sort of. If by that you mean falling sideways into a wall. Quicksand, let's see. 4. 4. Oh, I got... Okay, so I got... That should be an internet meme. I want you guys to go make that an internet meme. Getting crushed by a marble ram, just like falling damage. It's like, what are you talking about? And you're like, never mind. Okay. You didn't find a vial because Sham gave it to us. Well, this is the line about the sleepless ram. Okay. So, I've got 2 votes for walking across the floor. I've got no votes for fall. 1 vote for demoralizing any living enemies. And 4 votes for casting mud. Hey, Polar, what's up, man? 3 votes for that. Alright, so I have 3 votes for walk. 1 vote for sap. And 4 votes for mud. That's my current count. Going once. Going twice. Okay, so it's going to be casting mud. Mud. Mud is going to half kill you. Yeah. Actually, not half kill you. It's only 1 stamina point, but still. Alright, you're down to 3. I know, I was thinking about that, Lego. It is exactly like the Titans in the Arkham City series. Exactly. Alright, so, cast 1, deduct 1 stamina point. Do you have any sand with you? And yes, you do. So, make sure I don't lose your guys' save point. Okay. You throw the sand in front of the statue and cast your spell. A small pool of quicksand appears on the floor. You may now make your way across the room. But your trap will only slow down your opponent, not prevent it from reaching you. When you are told to test your luck, you may ignore this and go directly to the reference as if you had been lucky. So, technically, it will save you a point of luck doing it this way. Okay. So, you start moving across the room. After 5 steps into the room, you freeze. This may be a trick of the light, but you could swear that the shape in the center of the room is moving. A creak confirms your suspicions. The sculpture is coming to life. It turns on its pedestal to face you as you move forwards. You take 2 more steps. Its legs move and it steps down from its plinth. There is something unnatural about its movements. They are abnormally quick. Stepping down onto the floor took the statue less than a second, but its bulk is considerable. Then, without warning, it charges. Lowering its head, it races straight for you at tremendous speed. Its legs barely seem to move. And so, now you don't need to test your luck in this particular case because of the quicksand you guys laid down before. You're automatically lucky in that regard. You fling yourself out of the way just in the nick of time. The creature thunders past you and into the marble wall behind with a blow hard enough to kill an armored troll. But this tremendous impact has not even disturbed it, and it turns again to face you. Alright. Do you have anything you may be able to use against the creature? And again, it gives you the same options you had before. The only one of these that you have is a glass vial of liquid. But you do have other glass vials of liquid besides the one you used before. So the question is, do you want to try another one of these vials of liquid? And in which case, the question is, are you going to choose the vial that was given you by a woman or a vial that you found on your own? So 1 is the vial that was given you by a woman. 2 is a vial that you found on your own. Okay. 1. So, woman. Okay. Woman. Probably found. Woman. We found woman. All right. Let's see. Woman. All right. Looks like it's going to be a landslide in favor of the woman. Going once. Going twice. All right. Were you given it by a woman? All right. Let's see whether you're right. You draw out your vial and grab the stopper. It is stuck. The creature is now heading towards you and accelerating fast. In desperation, you fling the vial at the statue, and as luck would have it, you score a direct hit. The vial shatters on its head. Immediately, the creature stops dead in its tracks and totters on its legs. It seems to be struggling with something. The liquid within the vial has a pungent, acidic smell which fills the air and seems to be having some effect on the statue. Steam rises from the creature's neck and it loses its footing. One leg slips, causing it to fall to the side. This is enough for you. You race for the doors at the far end of the room while the creature is incapacitated. You reach the doors safely, but when you look back at the creature, your blood chills. The marbled ram is rising to its feet. The effects of the liquid are wearing off. Have you gotten enough time? The tall double doors are closed. You scramble up to them and must decide quickly what to do. Time is short. The ramming statue is picking up speed towards you already. Will you turn the handle and step through the doors quickly, or will you try to avoid the creature speeding towards you? Ah, Meat Bomb. Which key do you refer to, sir? Which key should I use? Which one are you talking about? Which key do I use? Which key do I use? Deduct 17. Well done, guys. Your heart is thumping as you open the door and you slam it shut behind you to keep the marbled ram out. You hear a thunderous boom as rocks fall, but the wall holds. You have escaped the sleepless ram. Haha, well done. See, it was the right vial. And you know actually what happened, which I should tell you guys? The reason you were a little confused is you'll remember that this is from the Seven Serpents. You were told to seek out, to destroy the Sleepless Ram, you had to seek out something called the Sham. But when you first met the Sham, it was actually this little gnome-like creature, which then, when you decided to be kind to it and give it something, it changed its form into a middle-aged woman. So it actually started as a male gnome and then became a woman, and she was the one who actually gave you the vial. So, anyway, you guys made it. So congratulations, you got to the other side of that door. You have not gotten to a new save point. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I take that back. No, you have not gotten to a new save point yet, technically. So keep that in mind. But you pause to collect your thoughts. You are about to come face to face with the Archmage. Your mission is almost done. If only you can take the Dark Lord of Mampang and rescue the crown. The door opens onto the foot of a spiral staircase. You climb the stairs way up into the tower until you reach a door at the top. The door is unlocked. You open it. You were expecting an elegant study, well decorated and lined with books. Yes, Lego, that's the fourth Throban door. What you see is exactly the opposite. And you know, actually, I'm sorry. I take this back. That was actually a save point. I'll hold on to the other save point just because of the one lost stamina point, but that is a save point, and it's probably the last save point that you're going to have, depending on how things go. But so, all right. The room inside is sparsely decorated. It is a bedchamber of some sort. Narrow window slits in the bare stone walls provide a little light, although the sun has nearly left the sky. There is a desk in the room, but it is cheaply made. The room seems empty. No one is about. You step into the room. A sound comes from behind the door, followed by sobbing. You wheel round quickly. Standing behind the door with a large brass pot in one hand is a balding, plump man dressed in long undergarments. "Oh, it's no use," he whimpers. "I just cannot bring myself to do it." Presumably he's talking about using his pot to knock you senseless as you entered. What will you do now? Will you calm the man down and try to talk to him, or will you threaten him for daring to contemplate ambushing you? So 1 is try to calm him down, 2 is threaten him for daring to contemplate ambushing you. Yell at the smooth skin. Okay. Right. A different kind of pot. Oh, yeah, the door thing, what happened was you guys tried the key that the captain had given you. You stepped through the door and closed it just before the ram got to you. So the vial that you threw at the ram slowed it down enough that you could get to the doors, and then you used the key to get through the doors and close it. So that's what happened. All right. Seems like a nice fella. All right, it looks like the vote is in favor of calming him down and not screaming at the guy. Going once. Going twice. All right. Calm him down and try to talk to him. You both sit down. No, there's no larder of Throg in the room. You both sit down on a hard wooden bench and he composes himself. I have no wish for all this violence and treachery, he starts, for I am a man of peace. It's this God-cursed Mampang that causes all these problems. I cannot even trust visitors anymore. You assure him that you will do him no harm, and he tells you his story. I can assure you, he says, that I am not a native of Mampang, nor am I from anywhere in Kakabad. My name is Far and Wide, and my kingdom is Ruddlestone, way to the west, beyond the Zanzunus. My profession is the art of science, and my specialty is my weaponry. In my own kingdom, I was renowned for my discoveries. My most important discovery was a flash powder, which would propel a missile further than any arrow could be fired. It was this cursed discovery which attracted the attention of the Archmage. His allies, the hook-billed birdmen, were sent after me. I was captured as I slept and brought to this hell pit in these very clothes. This is how his name is spelled, actually. That's how his name is pronounced. Is spelled, I mean. Blah, 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 blah. Since that time, his threats have kept me working on my project. But I fear that his own ambitions will see its use only for conquest, not for the defense of peace. You tell him a little of your own story, but only that the Archmage has similarly wronged your kingdom by stealing the crown of kings. The old man nods. I have heard of your crown. The Archmage is said to keep it with him at all times. You ask him where you can find the Archmage. Ah, now that is a secret I can help you with. Come with me. He leads you over to a window and points out. The Archmage does not often visit the Mampang fortress. Your jaw drops. Has this journey been wasted? Far and Wide continues. He considers this place unsafe from his enemies. He leads the world to believe that this is his home, but in fact, it is there. You follow his finger. It points out to the peaks of High Zaman, at nothing in particular. You groan. Must you find your way safely out of the fortress and start another journey? Oh, do not despair, my friend. Let me show you another trick I have learned. Far and Wide cups his hands round his mouth and calls 3 words in a language you have never heard before. You watch dumbfounded as the enchanted words cast their spell. Outside the tower you were in, a shimmering haze disturbs the air. As it rises slowly, the old man's story makes more sense. Another tower, concealed under its spell of invisibility, forms before your eyes. Far and Wide looks at you proudly. There is the Archmage's tower. That is where he stays. You realize you must now reach this tower, and quickly, before the light fades. Will you ask the man for his advice, or will you cast a spell? Now, let me tell you, let's see what options are available to you. You're not going to have a lot of spell options, because pretty much anything you cast is going to kill you. Let's see. Okay, can't cast that. Okay, so you could cast the spell Far, which would allow you to basically look into the future. So you could cast that spell. You could, if you wish, cast, let's see, blah, 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 blah. You could cast Sap, and basically Sap would sap the will of any living creatures in the area. That would cost 2 stamina points, so that would leave you obviously perilously close to death. Or you could cast Huff, which would be a wind spell that would allow you to cast a powerful gust of wind. So you can either ask the man for his, let me reset this, ask the man for his advice, that's 1. You could cast Far, which is the look into the future spell. You could cast Sap, which is the demoralize spell. Or you could cast Huff, which is the wind spell. That's choice 4. Thanks, Rookie. Okay, advice. Right. Far uses 1 stamina, and Huff, I believe, uses 2, which would put you perilously close. No, I think it's Sap that uses 2. Huff and Far are both 1 stamina each. Okay. So I have 2 votes for Ask Advice, 1 vote for Sap. Anyone else? Lego is referring to this. He's referring to that piece of information that you got from one of the 7 serpents, who is one of the Archmage's servants from a previous book. All right, going once. Going twice. All right. I can offer you a little help, he says, but whether or not you will be able to make use of it, I do not know. Outside of this door, to the left, is a solid wall. A secret doorway is hidden in the wall. It is released by a password, but it is well protected against all unauthorized people. The passageway behind the door runs downstairs to the outside of the fortress. When the Archmage did live here, this was his private escape route. I know what you're thinking. Does he know the password? Alas, I do not. For if I did, I would certainly have escaped myself long ago. Your only other alternative is to work your way back through the fortress and find your own way outside. You thank him for the information and hurry outside. Will you turn left and investigate the stone wall? Hey, what's up, Manu? Or will you head downstairs to make your way back through the fortress? So 1 is investigate the stone wall, and you may in fact have a little information about that stone wall beyond what he even gave you, actually. Or will you head downstairs to make your way back through the fortress? Okay, so stone wall. What other options we got? I got 1 stone wall from G. What else? The secret door is in the wall. Now, you don't really know yet what exactly you need to do, but yeah, he said it was his escape route. That's the stone wall is where he told you. That could well be, Rookie. Keep that in mind for when you actually get to the wall. Assuming that you guys vote to go to the wall. Because I think you just voted for that. So, assuming you guys go to the wall, keep that, what you just said, in mind. Because that may very well be the case. He did refer to it as a secret door. Okay, going once. Going twice. All right. So, you're going to turn left and investigate that the stone wall. You feel around the bare stonework looking for a clue as to where the secret doorway is. You can find nothing. Okay, now, Rookie, go ahead. What do you want me to do here? What Rookie's referring to, again, I only bring this up because he mentioned it, is this. So you want me to try that? Well, it's actually subtracting 92 from the reference I'm on. Which, oh god, hold on a second. In before math. Right, okay. All right. You speak your password and wait. A creak in the rock is followed by the appearance of a crack which splits along the rock face. A door is opening. Your heart beats quickly as it swings open to allow you through. And judging by the commotion you can hear at the bottom of the stairs, this was not a moment too soon. You step through the door and close it behind you. You find yourself in a narrow tunnel. Stairs lead downwards. You follow them down and down, zigzagging until you reach the bottom. At the bottom is a door. It squeaks on its hinges as you open it. This door cannot have been used for many years. The dust and debris that have built up around it makes it very difficult to open. Your spirits rise again when you find the door leads, as far and wide it told you, outside the fortress. But what of the hidden tower? Has it now resumed its aura of invisibility? You look out and breathe a sigh of relief. It is still visible. Perhaps the old man's words render the invisibility spell ineffective to anyone who once sees the tower. You step across towards it. A heavy door leads into the tower. You try it and find it firmly locked. Roll 2 dice and compare the total with your skill score. Alright, Lego, so you've got to roll 2 dice here, and here you're going to be comparing it not to this skill, but comparing it to this plus your attack strength, because you're going to be using the weapon to help you. So you basically need to roll 2 dice and get an 8 or less to get this thing open. So go ahead and roll those 2 6-siders. Uh-oh, wow. Check you out. Wow. All right. Well, that works. You force the door open. Well done. The door bursts open and you fall headlong into the chamber inside. You roll over on the straw-covered floor and take in your surroundings. The room is not at all elegant as you would have expected. It's simply a bare room. 2 doors lead from it, and you must now choose which one to take. You may try either the door on your left or the one on your right. So choice 1 is the door on the left, choice 2 is the door on the right. Left, okay. Left, left. Left. I don't know, but people are really fired up about it. Left, go left! All right, left. I have 4 votes for left. Going once. Going twice. All right, left it is. The door is not locked. It opens to reveal an odd-shaped room forming a rough crescent. It is dark and lit only from a lancet window in the left-hand wall. The floor is rough stone and scattered with straw. A doorway is set towards the far end of the right-hand wall. But what really catches your attention is a festering smell of decay which hangs in the room. Will you enter and look around, or leave this room and try the other door? So do you want to enter the room and look around? That's choice 1, or leave this room and try the other door? Okay. I have 1 for enter. Decay's bad. Other door. Alright, I got 2 votes for scavenge and 2 votes for go to the other one. 3 votes for enter. That's funny. 3 votes for enter, 2 votes for leave and try the other door. Anyone else? Going once. Other door, okay. 3-3. All right. So I need someone to break this tie. Other door, okay. Rookie agrees with meat sensibility. Yeah, I already had you on the vote, G. I already got you for entering. I got you for breaking and entering, see? Alright. So, going once. Going twice. Alright. Other door it is. Okay. The handle turns, and so you go back to the other door. The handle turns and you push the door open. Expecting the worst, you peer into the room. It is dark, but there is no sound coming from inside. As your eyes adjust to the light, you can see that the room is circular and thankfully empty. There is no furniture inside nor any windows. The walls are smooth and stony with long scratches stretching from floor to ceiling at several points around the edge of the door. On the far side, you see what you are looking for, the foot of a staircase. Will you enter the room and look around, head across the room for the staircase, or ignore this room and try the other door? So, enter the room and look around, head for the staircase, that's 2, or 3 is ignore this room and go back to the other one. Okay, look around, other door. Yeah, exactly. Look around. Look around. Stairs. Okay. I got 3 votes for look around, 1 vote for stairs, and 1 vote for other room. Three. All right, your vote has been noted, dude. All right, going once. Going twice. All right, looking around. It is. Okay. The floor of the room is covered in dust and straw. You kick through this and occasionally your foot touches... Oh. Sorry, I didn't see that. Sorry, nerdy. 3 to 2 to 1. Okay. Your floor of the room is covered in dust and straw. You kick through this and occasionally your foot touches something solid. Mostly these are stones, but one particular object feels light. You bend down and pick up a face mask. It is black in color and is carved to resemble a grotesque face. Let me put that down. That's a spell component, by the way. Placing it in your pack, you continue to disturb the straw to see whether you can find anything else of value. But suddenly, you stop in your tracks. Your foot has kicked a much heavier stone, and immediately a deep rumbling noise comes from under the floor. The rumbling continues. You lose your footing and stumble forwards, and it is only then that you realize what is happening. For that stumble was no clumsiness on your part. The floor is moving. Quickly you glance towards the archway. The dark staircase has disappeared. You can see only a solid wall within the arch. You wheel round to consider your other way of escape, but, as if in answer to your question, the door behind you slams firmly shut. Only now can you understand the scratchings on the walls. The floor is rising up towards the ceiling. You're about to be crushed to death. Will you search through the straw on the floor in the hope of finding something that may help you? Will you wait to see what happens in case the floor does not rise all the way? Or will you search your own equipment for something to use? So, search the straw on the floor, wait to see what happens in case it doesn't rise all the way, or search your own equipment for something to use. So don't tell me what yet. Just tell me whether you want to look for something to use in your equipment. If you're choosing option 3, it's just to look through your pack. So don't tell me what yet. Okay, so option 1 is search through the straw. Option 2 is wait to see what happens. Option 3 is search your pack. Okay, option 3, option 3. It is, I know, Lego. I'm telling you, man, this game is hard. Okay. Pack. Alright. You're hoping to find a stop crushing ceiling jar, you know? Waiting is OP, alright? Okay. Okay. So, you are going to be looking through your pack. Alright, 7 to 1, alright? You can find nothing which will be particularly useful, but there is one idea which occurs to you. If you have a strong weapon, such as a sword or spear, you may try to wedge it between the floor and the ceiling to try to hold the floor down. But the floor seems to be powered by some mechanism that is a good deal stronger than a mere weapon. Nevertheless, you may try this if you wish, and you had better hurry up. The floor's rise is already causing you to kneel down. If you wish to try wedging a sword, vote 1. If you wish to use a spear, vote 2. Or if you don't want to risk breaking either one, vote 3. So it does say that the mechanism is stronger than a normal weapon. So the question is, do you think the blessing matters or not? It may not make a difference. So, vote 1. So 1 is wedge a sword. Vote 2 is the spear. And if you want to say that either one is going to be broken and that's not going to work, then vote 3. Okay, so spear, save, spear. Save, spear. Alright, so I have 2 votes for spear, 1 vote for save. Rookie, that's funny. Stop a moving stone floor, seems legit. Okay. Two, I hope. Oh, well, I didn't know that he was... Oh, he's streaming now, huh? Well, hopefully I will head over there once we're done. Better lose the spear than our lives. All right.